Me, the whole world will hear that for many years. Jennifer Aniston has been more than just a famous person. She has been a living example of beauty, grace, and staying strong. People will always remember her as Rachel Green from Friends. She is not only America's sweetheart, but the favorite of a whole generation. Behind every bright smile was pain, and every graceful step was taken on broken glass from her private hurt. Behind the golden glow and bright spotlight is a woman carrying wounds that time could never heal, a broken childhood, love stories that fell apart under the world's harsh watching eyes, and a quiet, heartbreaking fight to become a mother that ended in sadness. Now, at 55, life's storms still hold onto her tightly, a cold, eating pain that threatens to break the peace she has spent her whole life building. If Jennifer Aniston has ever made you laugh, cry, or believe in love again, let your like be a tribute to this amazing woman who never gives up. Behind every golden last name is a story that's much less pretty. And for Jennifer Joanna Aniston, born on February 11, 1969, in Sherman Oaks, Los Angeles, the sparkle of a Hollywood family could never hide the cracks in its weak foundation. Long before the world loved her as Rachel Green on Friends, she was just a little girl caught between the light of the camera and the shadows at home. Her father, John Aniston, a Greek-born actor with a strong screen presence, and her mother, Nancy Tao, an American actress with Italian, English, Irish, Scottish, and Greek background, gave her a heritage full of culture and art. She had two half-brothers, John Mellick, older and from her mother's first marriage, and Alex Aniston, much younger, from her father's later relationship. Her godfather, the famous actor Telly Savalas, painted another stroke of Hollywood into her childhood. But fame, she would later say, was something that surrounded me, not something that filled me. When Jennifer was just a toddler, her father's career took the family across the country to the busy heart of New York City. The tall buildings and bright lights amazed her young eyes, but the light could not chase away the growing darkness inside her home. By the time she was 9, the marriage between her parents had broken beyond repair. One day, her father left not just for work, but out of her daily life for a long time. She remembered that moment as more than just him being gone. It was the silence afterward that was the hardest. That heartbreaking quiet taught her far too young that love could disappear without warning. At home, another battle was happening. Her mother, known for her striking beauty, often held Jennifer to strict standards of how she should look. Comments about her weight, her posture, or how she should wear her hair were common, maybe meant as help. But to a sensitive child, they could feel mean. The words stayed like tiny pieces of glass, planting seeds of self-doubt that would take many years to dig up. Life was not made easier by money. Money was often tight, and emotional warmth could feel like a luxury. Jennifer learned early to entertain others, to make people laugh, to calm tension, not just as a gift, but as protection. If they were laughing, she once said, maybe they wouldn't see the cracks. As she carefully stepped into adulthood and a starting career in Hollywood, one of the deepest wounds of her youth would be torn open again. In 1996, her mother appeared on a tabloid talk show, telling private details of her daughter's life. The break turned really tragic when Nancy published a memoir called From Mother and Daughter to Friends, telling her side of the story to the world. To Jennifer, it felt like a betrayal shown under the harshest lights. For the next 15 years, she and her mother would not speak. Some things, she later thought, take a long time to heal, if they ever do. These early storms, a father's sudden absence, a mother's demanding criticism. The public break of trust shaped Jennifer into someone both guarded and fiercely independent. They gave her understanding for pain she had seen up close, and a strength that would carry her through the unforgiving glare of fame. In the warmth of the spotlight, millions would see the bright smile, the easy wit, the grace. But in the quiet corners of her memory lives the little girl who learned to survive in a world where love was uncertain and trust could be fragile. A girl who would turn those scars into the steel of her backbone, building one of Hollywood's longest-lasting and most admired careers. It was in the quiet, hidden corners of her childhood escape, writing in worn notebooks, slipping away into daydreams, that Jennifer first felt the magnetic pull of acting, a fragile spark that would one day outshine the long shadows cast by her broken home. By 1975, At just 6 years old, while most children lost themselves in playground laughter, she was already crossing into imaginary worlds, discovering in drama a safe place where she could be anyone, anywhere. Her parents put her in the Waldorf school, a safe place where creativity was not just encouraged, but celebrated, giving her the first safe stage on which to test her voice. Even then, she felt that storytelling could be more than an escape. It could be a lifeline, a way to touch hearts she had never met. In 1983, at 14, she stepped into a test that would both sharpen and challenge her, the famous LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts in New York City. Here, under the careful guidance of respected acting coach Anthony Aniston, she learned that real acting wasn't about pretending. It was about standing unguarded, letting the world see your soul in cramped practice rooms. Smelling faintly of dust and paint, she found both excitement and fear. "I just wanted to belong somewhere," she would say many years later, her voice carrying both gratitude and the pain of those teenage years. Graduating in 1987 did not bring the dream. It brought the grind. In her late teens and early 20s, Jennifer pieced together survival from odd jobs, selling timeshares in dimly lit telemarketing offices, serving meals to customers who barely looked at her, and delivering things through Manhattan's harsh streets on a rattling used bicycle. Each shift bought her just enough time for one more audition, one more fragile hope. Her first flicker of screen life came in 1988, a blink and you'll miss it role in Mac and Me, followed by modeling work for Nutrisystem and scattered commercials that kept her dream breathing but weakly. Television proved more punishing. Between 1990 and 1994, she got roles in Malloy, Ferris Bueller, Camp Cucamonga, The Edge, and Muddling Through. Each was lit for a moment, then put out before it could warm her career. "I kept thinking, maybe this isn't for me," she later admitted, her words heavy with the memory of those false starts. The cycle of auditions, brief glimpses of success, and sudden cancellations ate at her spirit. By 1994, at just 25, she was emotionally worn out, quietly wondering if the little girl, who had once hidden in stories, had been silly to believe she could live in them for real. And then fate arrived in the most ordinary disguise. One ordinary afternoon at a gas station in Los Angeles, she crossed paths with Warren Littlefield, then president of NBC Entertainment. The conversation was brief, but its weight was huge. He urged her not to quit, to audition for a new sitcom the network was developing. "You have something. Don't quit," he told her. And to Jennifer, those words felt like sunlight after years of cloudy skies. That sitcom would be called Friends. She couldn't yet know that the role waiting for her would change television, launch her to worldwide fame, and carve her name permanently into the map of popular culture. But in that moment, what voice, and maybe it will change your thinking forever.